Today, we're talking about a delay in Trump's New York case sentencing, an update on the U.S. labor market, a weekend's worth of sports updates, and other top news for Monday, September 9th. Stay informed while remaining focused on Christ with the pour-over today. Here's the quote of the day. I have been driven many times to my knees by the overwhelming conviction that I had nowhere else to go. My own wisdom, and that of all about me, seemed insufficient for that day. Abraham Lincoln. Let's get started with some espresso shots. Voters will now head to the polls before former President Trump is sentenced in his New York hush money case. Friday, Justice Merchan moved the sentencing date from September 18th to November 26th to avoid the appearance that the decision has been affected by or seeks to affect the approaching presidential election. The rescheduling is a win for Trump's legal team, which was pushing to delay on grounds of election interference. Trump said the witch hunt was postponed because everyone realizes I did nothing wrong. Prosecutors deferred to the judge's timeline, but noted that the jury swiftly and unanimously convicted Trump. The GOP nominee's legal calendar now looks clear. His Florida classified documents case was dismissed, the SCOTUS's immunity ruling delayed the D.C. federal election interference case, and his Georgia election case is also stalled. In this divisive political climate, believers have an opportunity to show that our ultimate allegiance is to Christ. Imitating our just and merciful Father, root for justice and retain love for all parties, both the accused and the accusers, whether world-famous or unknown, desiring restoration, not revenge. Deuteronomy 32, verse 4 says, "The rock, his work is perfect. All his ways are just. A faithful God, without bias. He is righteous and true." Uncle Sam isn't failing economics, but his grades are slipping. The U.S. economy added 142,000 jobs in August, which was less than expected, but a nice bump up from July's worryingly low 89,000. The leisure and hospitality sector added the most jobs, plus 46,000, followed by healthcare, plus 44,100, and construction, plus 34,000. The largest losses came in manufacturing, minus 24,000, retail, minus 11,100, and information, minus 7,000. Unemployment dropped from 4.3% to 4.2%. With the labor market's cool down and inflation's slow but steady descent towards its 2% target, the Fed is fixin' for a rate cut next week. The jury is still out on whether it'll lower rates by 0.25 percentage points, typical, or opt for a larger than normal 0.50 percentage point drop. Our hope is never contingent on the economy's ups and downs. It's secure in what Christ has already done. Regardless of whether the economy gets better or worse in the coming days, everything eventually ends well for followers of Christ. 1 Peter 1, 3, 4, and 6 says, "Because of his great mercy, he has given us new birth into a living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, and into an inheritance that is imperishable, undefiled, and unfading, kept in heaven for you. You rejoice in this, even though now for a short time, if necessary, you suffer grief in various trials." Football is all the way back. Friday, Philadelphia beat Green Bay 34-29 in the NFL's first Brazil game. The loss isn't the only thing Packers fans are hanging their cheese heads over. Their quarterback, Jordan Love, will be out for 3+ weeks after spraining his MCL late in the game. Saturday's highlight was a jaw-dropping upset. 28.5-point underdog Northern Illinois beat number 5 Notre Dame in South Bend, and Sunday's headlines included Tom Brady's commentating debut in the Browns-Cowboys game and Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill's detainment for a driving violation near Hard Rock Stadium. Hill was released and scored a touchdown in the Dolphins' victory. In non-football news, the U.S. Open wrapped with Belarus's Aryna Sabalenka victorious on Saturday and Italian Jannik Sinner beating out America's Taylor Fritz on Sunday, continuing the U.S. men's two-decade Open drought. Sports can teach us a lot about everyday life, the value of teamwork, perseverance, and even loyalty as a fan. Athletes' commitment to their sport encourages us to press on as we seek to win an imperishable crown at the end of our faith journey, and the joy of fans for their team can give us a foretaste of the greatest celebration in history. 1 Corinthians 9, verse 25 says, "Now everyone who competes exercises self-control in everything. They do it to receive a perishable crown, but we an imperishable crown."
The Every Woman's Bible is a study Bible for the heart and mind. Engaging study notes and devotionals address topics relevant to women in cultural, historical, and literary clarity and context to gain greater understanding. Over 100 Every Woman's Bible scholars, writers, and contributors, all women from around the world, invite you into a global community. Begin your journey today at everywomansbible.com. Tyndale's best-selling Every Man's Bible is also available.
In other brews, here's a rapid round of updates. A manhunt is underway after a shooting in rural southeast Kentucky near I-75 on Saturday night. 9 vehicles were struck and 5 people were injured. Authorities have narrowed in on one suspect, a 32-year-old white man who was roughly 5 foot 10 inches, 150 pounds, and considered to be armed and dangerous. It's unclear what motivated the shooting. 3 Israeli civilians were shot and killed Sunday while crossing from Jordan into Israel's West Bank. According to the IDF, the gunman, a retired Jordanian soldier, drove a truck to the Allenby Bridge crossing from Jordan's side and opened fire before Israeli security forces eliminated him. The crossing was closed following the incident. No Slurpee for you. The Japanese parent company of 7-Eleven rejected a $38.6 billion takeover offer by the owner of Circle K, saying it grossly undervalues the iconic convenience store chain. 7-Eleven also worries that, even if Circle K upgrades to a big gulp-sized offer, it does not have a solid plan to overcome the inevitable antitrust lawsuits by U.S. regulators. Vaping is so 2019. Teen vaping has hit a 10-year low, falling to nearly 2/3 of its peak in 2019, when Juul was most popular. Notably, health officials are celebrating that the decline of teen vaping has not coincided with a rise in teens using other nicotine products, even as sales of Zyn, nicotine pouches, surge among adults. Super Bowl 59 has found its superstar. Rapper Kendrick Lamar will headline the halftime show on February 9th in New Orleans. The 37-year-old, who has 17 Grammys and a Pulitzer Prize for music, said he plans to remind the world why rap music is the most impactful genre. Last year's performance by Usher was the most watched halftime show in history. And that's all we have for today. Thanks so much for listening. If you're listening on the Apple Podcasts app, give us a 5-star rating and drop a review. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a follow and hit the notification bell to never miss a new episode. We appreciate your support and hope you have a great day. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Hey, it's Kathleen from The Pour Over. Before you go today, I want to tell you about Keola. Imagine a mind and body practice to build strength and flexibility. Now imagine it's rooted in Christian principles. Keola's online, on-demand studio blends fitness with intentional time to give God your cares, focus on what He says, and grow in His Spirit. Head to the link in our show notes to start your free trial today and get a discount on your first month with code TPO.